I'm Colleen Lewis near Point of Bay.
A Supreme Court judge has ruled in favor of 71 fishermen who sued the FFAW over a scallop compensation agreement reached between the union and Nalcor. Both the FFAW and the lawyer for the fishermen confirmed the ruling for NTV News today. Lawyer David Goodland says the ruling means the FFAW will have to pay out a $2.6 million compensation fund to about 80 harvesters, plus interest and court costs. The FFAW negotiated the deal to compensate for the loss of scallop grounds in the Strait of Belle Isle as Nalcor lays down the Muskrat Falls transmission line. But a group of fishermen sued over the way the money was being distributed. The FFAW says it is still reviewing the ruling with its lawyers before it makes any further comment.
Provincial government is staying tight-lipped tonight about talks with Ottawa to resolve the impasse over the CETA fishery fund. But members of the Tory opposition who negotiated the original deal are calling on the provincial Liberals to take a firm stand on this issue. NTV's Michael Connors joins us live with more tonight. Michael?
Thank you very much, Glenn. It was the PCs who negotiated the $400 million fishery CETA fund, which was to be cost-shared by Ottawa and the province. And they say the new Liberal governments are not being clear enough about what's going to happen to that money.
We have done to date as a new government.
Yesterday, Federal Minister Judy Foote said Ottawa is willing to help Newfoundland and Labrador deal with the loss of minimum processing requirements. But she offered no details on how the new Liberal government views the $280 million promised as compensation.
We haven't had that discussion. I think it's a new beginning for us.
Today, Provincial Trade Minister Christopher Mitchellmore also would not give details on the provincial government's position.
We're certainly moving forward in the negotiations when it comes to the Fisheries Investment Fund, and we're going to have that dialogue and discussion to see what the outcome will be. We're certainly seeing a real transformation in the fishery.
But the Tory opposition says that's not good enough.
You know, is the current provincial government going to support giving up MPRs with not getting the $400 million fund? That's a huge question we have.
When they were in power, the PCs demanded that the federal money be handed over with no strings attached. The federal Conservatives insisted that the province must prove financial losses in the fishery first. PC MHA Keith Hutchings wants the federal and provincial Liberals to clarify their positions.
I certainly know the federal leader of the Liberal opposition back in December 2014 wrote then Premier Davis and said he was committed to and would honour what was made between us and the federal government. Why at this stage we have a federal Liberal minister in Ottawa and the Prime Minister as well somehow now going soft in regards to that commitment.
But if the federal government wants you to prove losses before handing over the money, would you accept that?
We have to have negotiations first before we can go down that road. That's not something that's been put forward at this time. So until we have a negotiation process in place as to how this matter is going to move forward, I really don't have anything further that I can comment on.
So for now, it looks like the federal and provincial governments are keeping their negotiating positions at the negotiating table. But Minister Mitchellmore admits that the CETA Fishery Fund is now more important than ever with a crisis looming in the shrimp industry. Glenn?
Michael Connors joining us live. Thank you, Michael.
Well, the provincial government has